Hey guys, it's Nicole and I am here with a life lessons video. This video is going to be me talking about all the life lessons, well, not all of them, some of the life lessons that I have learned throughout the hard way. These are the things that I have experienced and learned the hard way. And Aaliyah is kind of making an appearance in the background there, so hopefully she's not too distracting. When your parents tell you to clean your room or do the dishes or just chores in general, not for the purpose of getting you to be a little house slave, it really is getting you prepared and ready to be on your own and to be in your own place. Because if you don't have those habits of cleaning up after yourself and you move into your own place, then you're not going to have those habits of cleaning up after yourself. They're not going to just automatically come, and that's something that when I was a child, and my mom would always tell me to do chores, clean my room, do this, clean that. I was always like, why? Like, why do you care if I clean my room? Why do you care if my space is clean or not, And it really is to get you in the habits of cleaning up after yourself for when you get into your own place. When your parents tell you, it's not you I don't trust, it's other people. So when I was a teenager, this drove me absolutely up a wall. I hated it when my mom told me this because, she would always just not let me go to the places I wanted to go. I wanted to go hang out with my friends. I wanted to go be, big and, I wanted to go do like the big teenager things, and my mom would not allow me go. She would not let me go to the places that I wanted to go because we lived in kind of a sketchy neighborhood where there was lots of shootings after it got dark. There's lots of gangs and stuff like that where we lived. So my mom was obviously like, no, you don't need to go to that area. You can, hang out here around the neighborhood, but you don't need to go to that area. And I would always get so mad. I would always get so pissed and just be like, why, Mom? You don't trust me. You don't think that I can go out there and be okay, I'm not going to talk to stupid people. I'm not going to be bad, whatever. And it was always, it's not you I don't trust, it's other people, And back then, that just drove me so effing crazy. Now, I totally get it. People are crazy out there. You hear it all the time. People being murdered, people being kidnapped, So, I totally understand where my mom's coming from now. And I would have never understood that it doesn't matter if you're the best, most obedient child in the freaking world. If you go out and you're going out and putting yourself out into the world and you're really putting yourself in a vulnerable spot, especially if you're my age, where I was just a teenager, probably 14 or 15, wanting to go hang out at a place where there were shootings and gangs all the time. They know what they're talking about. There's a reason that they don't want you there, and they're doing it because they love you. It's not because they want to ruin your life or keep you away from people. Might be because they want to keep you away from people, but just go with it. There's a reason. There's always a reason, and it's just best to try and understand where your parents are coming from and not make a huge deal about it and be all disobedient and angry like I was. Go to school. Finish school. Don't try and be like all those other dumbass kids that are ditching school and just think it's so cool to be an asshole at school. Focus, man. You have to go. It's a thing. It's always been a thing. You gotta go to school. So at least make the best of it. Don't try and be a freaking asshole in school. It doesn't make you look cool. Your friends may think you look cool, but everybody else in the classroom is thinking wow, that kid's a fucking idiot. You graduate. Because coming from someone who did all that bullshit, I ditched school all the time, didn't give a shit. Not until I got pregnant did I ever give a shit about passing school. If you're in high school right now and, all your friends are talking about, oh, when you graduate, graduation, blah, 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 it is so depressing. For me, anyways, it was so depressing to watch all of my friends, all of these people that I had talked about with, graduating and, after we graduate high school and all that, so freaking depressing to watch them walk across the stage and I'm sitting in the audience knowing that I will never experience that. Don't do that to yourself. I'm just gonna lead this one out with like a quote that I saw in my school office when I was in high school. I saw it in my school office and it has stuck out to me ever since, and I've remembered it ever since because I was going through a really like hard time when I was a teenager, trying to figure out who I was, and I didn't like myself, and you know, I didn't want to be me. I wanted to just be what everybody else liked, you know, like I just wanted people to like me, you know, and so I was having a really hard time like figuring out who I actually was. It's always better to be the first-rate version of yourself than the second-rate version of somebody else. What that really means is it doesn't matter if, you know, this person that, you know, you have a crush on likes you or not. It doesn't matter if these group of girls that you want to be friends with don't like you. Like, what matters is that you need to focus on finding out who you are. Don't go around trying to be like other people. Don't go around trying to be like these girls because all the guys that you like are hitting on them, you know, like don't try to, you know, be somebody you're not. It's always going to work out better if you just focus all your energy, especially during that time in your life where you're really trying to figure out who you are. Like, focus your energy on that, on focusing on trying to figure out who exactly you are. Don't focus on this bitch over here or that person over there. Like, focus on you. That is something that I still to this day like struggle with, like, and you know, like I learned at an early age that I need to, you know, focus on being who I am and not worrying about what other people think about me. And you know, still to this day I kind of get down in the dumps, you know, because like I still kind of like find myself awkward and find myself weird, you know, and sometimes people don't get my sense of humor, so I still to this day feel like, you know, God, I fucking hate myself. People don't get me, you know, so I totally get it. Like, I've been there, I'm still there, you know, but really, like, just this main message is just to love yourself, be yourself, and don't worry about anybody else, because people who don't like you, people who don't get you, they don't matter. Cocky plus jealous plus drug dealer equals a bad choice of boyfriend or friend. You are who your friends are. I don't care what you have to say. If you're gonna sit here and be like, oh, well, I hang out with all these people and they're fucking pieces of shit and like to steal. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, hanging out with all these thieves, or you're hanging out with all these druggies, or you're hanging out with whatever, you know, the people that you are hanging out with, it doesn't matter whether you're doing the things that they are doing. If you are with them and you are hanging out with them, you're going down too. Okay, this is kind of like an obvious common sense one, but I feel like I really need to emphasize this. Including myself, when I was a teenager, I did the same thing. Oh, I became pregnant. Were you using any birth control? Well, no, we weren't trying to like not like, you know, get pregnant, but I still have no idea how this happened. I was the same way. I was 17, you know, having unprotected sex, and then when I got pregnant, I was like, whoa, I got pregnant? What? If you are having unprotected sex, you will get pregnant. That stork is going to pay you a visit. He don't give a fuck. He's coming for you. So protect yourselves, guys. Cherish your childhood. Stop trying to grow up so fast. I was so guilty of this, and I just wish I would have cherished my childhood, you know, because all throughout my childhood, all I did was, you know, think about and obsess over when I was going to be an adult, when I was going to be able to have freedom, when I was going to be able to, you know, start my own family, have my own job, have my own car, you know, blah, blah, blah. I was so excited to just grow up and leave childhood. I wanted people to look at me as a woman and not a little girl. You know, I wanted to be beautiful and hot and sexy and not cute. You know, like, I just wanted to grow up so fast that, you know, my childhood just gone, you know, like, it's like out the window. And you know, I, you know, still to this day have like memories, or just like sit there and deeply think about my childhood and what it was like to be a kid, and it just makes me like so sad. Like, I wish that I could just, you know, at least for like a day, like look back, or like sit in like a little like motion theater and just go through my entire childhood one more time, you know, just because like it seems so far away now, and like I spent my entire life being a child, and now here I am due to this whole adult thing or whatever. And so I feel like that entire like first half of my life is just gone, and I never like even embraced it or enjoyed it or stopped to like think about it, you know, like I just, you know, now that it's gone is when I'm really thinking about, damn, I really should have just like enjoyed my childhood and just tried to stay, you know, as young as I could as possible, and stopped worrying about what I was wearing, what makeup I had, you know, like how straight my hair was, you know, like I wish I would have just stopped worrying about those things and focused on my innocence and my animals and my hobbies. But I didn't really have a hobby back then. We were so broke that I just wanted to, you know, grow up and get high. Never rush into parenthood. So I know that a lot of people, including myself right now, you know, have baby fever. They want to, you know, just have a baby. Like as soon as they get that taste of baby fever, they're just like, oh my god, I want to get pregnant. I want to do this. I want to experience this for myself. And I totally get it. It's exciting. It's beautiful. It's new. Like, you know, pregnancy and bringing a new person into this world is one of the most exciting memories and experiences that I think a woman will go through in their life. And so I totally get it. I totally get where, you know, you're coming from when you want to just like bring someone into this world and start a family of your own. Raising children, having, you know, a baby, even pregnancy, everything is just so difficult. And yeah, it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's the most wonderful experience ever, but it is also a huge challenge. And I don't think that people really focus on that. They focus on the, you know, the beautiful newness and wonderful, you know, like glory of bringing a child into this world and becoming a mother and pregnant and blah blah blah, you know, like I feel like people forget about how hard it actually is. And before they're even ready, they're trying to have a baby. Before they've even experienced life, they're trying to have a baby, you know. And like I've seen it so often, people purposely getting pregnant, teenagers purposely getting pregnant, you know, even like older women that aren't necessarily like having their shit together, getting pregnant and thinking that it's gonna make their lives like that much better. And it's just another stressor, you know. Like I love Aaliyah to death. I would never change ever anything about, you know, how our situation came to, because for those of you guys who don't know, Aaliyah saved my life. Like I was really bad into drugs. I was, you know, not going down a good path. And as soon as I got pregnant, I became sober. I was 17 when I became pregnant, and I think about all the things that, you know, I missed out on. And it's not like I sit here and I ponder on them, you know, but like if I were to like tell another girl who is not pregnant yet, who hasn't had a baby yet, who is, you know, going through that baby fever, wanting to get pregnant, I would definitely tell you to really sit down and think about whether you're ready for this or not, whether you are pretty much done exploring and experiencing the world as much as you can. Because I know that you can go and, you know, bring your babies and all that, you know, with you or whatever when you go explore the world, if that's what you want to do. Because I had the same plan, you know. I was like, oh, it doesn't matter if I have a baby, like, before I go to freaking Paris or if I go to Egypt, you know, like, I'll just, you know, bring my baby with me and we'll make it a thing, you know. But you don't think about actually being able to afford it, you know, because when you're just a single person, you can afford a lot more than when you have a child. You have no idea. If you don't have any children and you're trying to get pregnant and you're trying to, like, you know, do all these things, like, you do not realize how much you are actually tied down when you have that child, to just really sit down, figure out if you're ready, and then if you really think that you're ready, then go for it. But just don't rush into parenthood, and just know that your time will come and you will become a mother at one point, and it will happen for you, but just make sure that moment's the perfect moment. Kind of getting into some less serious subjects. When you're dyeing your own hair, or when you have someone dyeing your hair and you go take a shower to wash that hair dye out, make sure that you wash out all the hair dye, because it's not like shampoo or conditioner when it gets left in your hair. If you leave that hair dye in your hair, your scalp is going to peel off and your hair will fall out. If you have some sort of like gym class or PE class, go ahead and just get yourself some running shoes. Just do it. Just go spend the extra money, get some running shoes to save your feet some pain. I would just wear my flats, I would wear my sneaker, or like my Converse, you know, like my cute whatever shoes, like, you know, that weren't running shoes, had no padding on the bottom, and I would use it, use those shoes to just run or do whatever, run laps, you know, like whatever. And I did this to myself like so many times throughout high school and middle school. My feet were so sore and I could not run. I always had to get a freaking note to tell my class that I couldn't run because my feet were in so much pain. They felt like I shattered them. Or if you want to get dismissed from PE class and get out of running, then don't get yourself some running shoes and get a doctor's note to tell them that you can't run. When a girl says that she's pregnant and you had no idea until that very moment that she told you she was pregnant, that she was pregnant, don't go on the whole, oh, I had no idea you were pregnant kick. Just pretend that you knew she was pregnant the whole time. Because I have done this before. I've personally done this to someone, and I've had it done to me. And it is just never a pleasant situation. Whatever the situation, the female who is pregnant will be offended. Never wear your friend's eyeliner. It just never works for me. Every time that I've used a friend's eyeliner in the past, I get these swollen pink freaking eyes. And it's not like my eye is like pink because that part's like red, but my eye gets like swollen and like the area around my eye gets pink every time. Even if your friend is like your BFF, you guys live together, you have no idea how many other friends she has been letting use that freaking eyeliner. Don't just go hog wild and spend every single paycheck. Put some aside. I know how hard that can be sometimes. But I'm telling you, once you get on that kick of just saving more money, it will blow your mind how much money you can actually put aside. And that's the whole reason why we were okay when we got kicked out of my mom's house, was because we had been saving so much money that when we got kicked out of my mom's house, we didn't go without, well, we did eventually after we ran out of the savings, but we had to use my savings to like help us like survive. For this one is just like a reminder, a kind of like pep talk or whatever, but never let yourself stay in a funk. I know how easy it is to get depressed. I know how easy it is to get in a funk and just want to lay in bed all day and not want to get up. I know how easy it is to just want to give up and say, fuck it, my life sucks, this is it, I'm done. Never let yourself get to that point. Never let yourself get your head so deep in the sand that you can't get out, because then you won't get out. But you can always get out of that funk. So never let yourself get too deep in the dark to where you can't pull yourself back into the light. Whether you're having issues right now, or whether it's been a bad couple months, it's been a bad week, I know how it is. I know how hard it is to pull yourself out of the funk and tell yourself it's gonna be okay. But there is always tomorrow, and just remember, you're not going to feel like this forever, and there will always be a next day. There will always be a tomorrow. The sun is always going to come up. I got to get ready for work. I'm probably already like going to be like rushing for time, but thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, and request videos.